Good day, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Papa Moved to Mexico. I'm going to run through 4 or 5 segments of things and see what we can learn about retired life in Mexico, the North Shore of Lake Chapala. Let's start with a weather report. Today, let's see, Thursday, July the 2nd, at about 11:35 in the morning, here is the current weather situation on the North Shore of Lake Chapala. Yes, this is very nice indeed. And to contrast that, here is a demonstration of the current weather in Little Rock, Arkansas, where we escaped. Ooh. This is an excellent demonstration of the weather differences between Arkansas and the North Shore of Lake Chapala. Each week, I hope to be able to answer some questions from the viewers if I know the answers, okay? And so this is where I'm going to segue into a longer segment with this, because the main questions that I've been getting since I launched this second channel, Papa Moved to Mexico, by and large, they're about getting residency, okay? And crossing the border, getting to where you're going in Mexico your very first time. So here is how we got our residency taken care of for Mexico. I recommend to anyone, everyone that's asking questions about residency in Mexico, okay? My best advice to you is to purchase the Mexico Relocation Guide. No, it isn't cheap, but if you have made the decision to retire and move to Mexico, you're going to need a lot of answers. Now, I want to explain real quick why often I'm not going to give specific answers that apply to me, because your situation is going to be just a little bit different, okay? You may be doing things slightly different from a slightly different point of view. The answers are going to be different. And so I apologize if my answers are a little bit vague. I don't want to give someone a factual answer on what my experience was, and then a viewer take that to the bank, so to speak, and believe it as a guarantee that that's what their experience is going to be. So I'm going to shy away from giving specific answers in a segment like this. I hope you'll understand. What's great about the Mexico Relocation Guide isn't just the guide itself. Of course, the guide has all of your answers, okay? They're in there. You've got to dig and read, open up all the tabs. The answers are there. After you've purchased the Mexico Relocation Guide, you will get access to the Facebook group. And in there, you can ask more specific questions, and several people can reply on what their experience is. And of course, Mariana will chime in to correct something if it isn't really going straight, okay? And so I want to make sure that everyone understands the best specific answers to your questions, I believe, are found in the Mexico Relocation Guide, from purchasing the Mexico Relocation Guide and the Facebook group that you get access to afterwards, okay? I have no agreement with Mariana or the Mexico Relocation Guide. No links or anything like that. I don't receive any money. I just truly believe that it is the most helpful asset you could have if you've decided that you're going to retire and move to Mexico, okay? So here is a quick rundown of what we did specifically for our residency, okay? First, I studied the relocation guide and I asked and received answers in various Facebook groups, okay? I watched some other YouTubers and I took all the bits and pieces. And what we knew was I needed to qualify with financial solvency based off of monthly income. And Sherry, my wife of 41 years, she needed to qualify based off of her IRA retirement account, okay? So the next question was, where were we going to go? Well, after, again, listening to smarter people than me, we learned that the Oklahoma City consulate was a great place to apply for temporary residency, okay? That was, I guess I skipped over that. We knew that we were going to apply for temporary residency, not permanent, and certainly not a work permit or anything like that, okay? Temporary residency, a couple of retired people, okay? And so when I learned about the Oklahoma City consulate, what I learned was that they responded quickly and that they had a clear-cut set of requirements and things that they wanted from applicants, okay? The first step is to send them an email asking what they need to know from you so that they can consider an application from you for residency, okay? And so you start by sending an email, and here is the email address, okay? Right here. So send them an email asking what they need from you, and be 100% forthcoming and honest about how you're going to apply for residency, what pathway you're going to take. Is it going to involve any family unification? Are there any marriages to take into account? Or are you simply doing financial solvency, either monthly income or by savings and investments like my wife, okay? Be 100% forthcoming in how you're going to apply so that you can get good, useful answers back, okay? So within a few days, I received back an email from the Oklahoma City consulate. And there were some specific things listed for me to provide and some specific things listed for my wife to provide. So we got those documents, we turned them into PDFs, okay? And in a reply email, I gave all of those attachments. Now, it was quite a lot because I had to provide 6 months worth of bank statements from our checking account showing my deposits monthly into our checking account. For Sherry, they wanted the immediate 12 months of her statement of her retirement account, her IRA, okay? Showing each month at least the minimum amount that they required at that time for economic solvency based off of savings and investments, okay? So we provided those documents. We provided a close-up picture of our passport pages, okay? And we provided a completed, filled-out application for residency, okay? And something else that they asked for was a copy of our marriage license. Okay, so it was just those things, and we gathered all of those things up, and we prepared them in order, in the order that it was requested, in one big PDF book for me and one big PDF book for Sherry. And I sent those back by reply email asking for them to review and let me know when we could have an appointment. After a few days, we got a response that based off of the review of the documents we sent, we qualified, both of us, for temporary residency. And there were a listing of some dates and times for available appointments. And we picked one that was about 2 weeks in the future from that point in time, okay? And so we made reservations at a hotel in downtown Oklahoma City. And we drove down from Little Rock. Let's see, it's about 4.5 hours, 5 hours, I think, all the way. We drove down one afternoon, stayed overnight, and we had our appointment at 9 a.m. the next morning for our residency applications. We got there right on time, and the guard at the front took our information while we were there, and then they had someone show us back to the area, and we waited on some couches. And the agent there came out, introduced himself. We brought our originals, our original passport, our original documents of our from our banks, well, our checking account for me, and Sherry's retirement accounts for her. And our original signed applications. Sherry went ahead and brought our original marriage license and a copy from, the original is from 1985. Okay, and so the nice gentleman there, he took all of that and left with them and did his final review, whatever process they go through. It took about 45 minutes for all that to happen, and then they called us back. We went back together to the nice gentleman's office, and he asked us some basic questions. How many times have we been to Mexico? Why are we looking to get our residency? How long do we plan on staying in Mexico? Basic things like that. We just gave completely honest, truthful answers. And he asked us to return to the couch and that he would be back out shortly, okay? And so after about another 45 minutes, he came out each with our passports. He kept everything else, but he had our passports, and he handed them to us, and he said, "Congratulations, welcome to Mexico." And our stickers were in our passports. It was that easy to get our residency done, our initial step done in Oklahoma City. Again, Oklahoma City Consulate, I don't believe they have any easier rules. I don't think they let you slide on anything. But in my experience, the agents there, they responded, okay, to emails. They answered questions, okay, and what they said was going to happen is what happened. And things happened when and how they were supposed to. That is why I recommend, if you're traveling to do your residency application, I recommend the Oklahoma City Consulate. Anybody that thinks they know something about living in Mexico, about retiring in Mexico or moving and living here for whatever reason, they will all tell you that the best thing you can do is to learn some Spanish. Now, you don't have to be fluent, I don't think, but you need to know some basics. So each week I'm going to give an update on how my Spanish language skills are improving, if they are, okay? And so let's start with just a quick, this first week, let you know my baseline, okay? College was many years ago. I did take 4 full semesters of Spanish in college. And while I was going to college, before also, I worked on construction sites in Texas. So I learned a lot of simple words and phrases and things in context of some Spanish before I began traveling to Mexico, okay? And I surprise even myself when I'm in Mexico, before moving here, that it's in here and it comes out when I'm here and things are in context. So that's what I'm working on, is using what I have and using things in context as much as I can. I'm looking for a Spanish language process, school, lessons, or something like that I might want to give it a try. So I'll let you know next week if I learn anything. One of our top reasons for moving to Mexico in retirement was to improve our health and fitness, okay? let's be honest, after several years of dealing with very bad knees, the right knee has been replaced. The left knee replacement is coming up this winter. I haven't been nearly as active as I needed to have been the last several years. And I blame Chick-fil-A. They were right around the corner from where we lived in Little Rock, and those chicken sandwiches, they're wonderful, okay? Also, David's Burgers. Their burgers and fries are among the best that there are. So they were nearby and convenient and delicious, but thousands and thousands of excess calories led to me gaining far more weight than I needed to have gained. Yes, I reached 254 pounds. I looked on my chart and I saw a doctor's visit and I weighed in at 254 pounds, and that's too much. So I've been in Mexico now for, let's see, we got here the very end of April. So 2 months, 2 months and a few days, and I've already had some improvement. The food is better, the food is healthier, simpler ingredients, and there is not a Chick-fil-A or David's Burgers right around the corner from where I live. So each week I hope to do a weigh-in and let you know what I'm doing and how I'm doing in my goals of being healthier, not such a fat slob, and being more active. Okay, each week I hope to give you a cost of living example, what things cost here in Mexico, and you can compare them to what you see things that cost you in the U.S. or Canada or wherever else you're from, okay? A few weeks ago, Queso, my Chihuahua, Pomchi, Chihuahua mix, he's 3/4 Chihuahua, 1/4 Pomeranian. Now, we knew he had some allergy issues, okay? Here's a photo of what he's supposed to look like. And here's a photo of him after he got stung by a wasp in his mouth. I know, right? So we knew he had some allergic reaction tendencies, okay? So as soon as we moved into our new lease here on the north shore of Lake Chapala, he started being really itchy, scratchy. His undercarriage was all red and raw, and he was not a happy camper. And so that afternoon, I had already gotten a recommendation for a vet from KJ, Craig and KJ, Truly Remarkable Life. They had already given me their recommended veterinarian. With WhatsApp, I sent a message that Queso is really itchy scratchy, something's going wrong, when can you see him? And she responded within 15 minutes, be there at 10 o'clock the next morning, okay? So 10 o'clock the next morning, we loaded up Queso and took him to the vet, and she examined him. And so she looked under a microscope of what it was causing his problem on his belly, and in between his toes and under his arms and legs. Pollen, she saw a lot of pollen stuck to this little guy, and he was having an allergic reaction to it, okay? She gave him a steroid shot while we were there, and she provided us with some hypoallergenic shampoo that she said would work really good. She gave us some itchy meds to help him not itch so much, and some medicated wipes to keep him clean on days where he's not getting a bath, to wipe the pollen off so he can heal, okay? And so all of that added up to 1,335 pesos, okay? A little word about that. I'm going to, as much as I can, when I give price comparisons, I'm going to give the answers in pesos. If you want to know what those are in US dollars or Canadian dollars, do a quick conversion to see what that means to you. But I'm going to give prices in pesos, okay? 1,335 pesos. And that's it for this week's episode of Papa Moved to Mexico. Please ask questions, leave comments in the comments section. Let me know what you think about the format. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Let me know what you think. For this week, this is Papa signing off. GoPro, stop recording.